Hello everyone, welcome to Harry B's Creative Minds channel. Today I'm going to be going through a beginner's tutorial on Photoshop, going through the various tools, also going through an example of how to do a banner in Photoshop. This video is really aimed at beginners, just going through some of the tools and explaining how they work. So let's jump straight into it. If you've got Photoshop open, I will suggest you go into File and Open. But before you even do that, I would suggest you go to the official Adobe website, type Adobe Photoshop in Google, and then you should come up with something like this. Depending on your region, this is UK. You can click on Free Trial. And then you can try it out for a few days for free, 7 days for £19.97, just for Photoshop alone. I think that's the cheapest way to go. Then you've got like Teams, you've got like student offers as well, things like that. So you can go through that and just check it out. So that would be my advice. Switching back to Photoshop, once you have it installed, you go to File, then you go to New. And for this example, I'm just going to use a custom 800 by 100. So that's the height is going to be 100 and the width is going to be 800. And you can see it here on the right. So that's the width, that's the height, that's the resolution. Resolution is like the quality of the image that you're working on. The higher the resolution, the more it comes out in terms of visual quality, and the heavier the image it can be. It's in pixels, and the color mode is RGB. You can change the background to whatever you want. For this example, I'm just using white. So for those beginners, you can use a black background, you can use a transparent custom or custom background. So that's how you would create your banner. So click on Create, and this is what your banner looks like. And then if you go to the View option, then you can go to actual size, and it just increases. And this is what we're going to use to create our simple banner. I'm going to go through the tools on the left-hand side from start to finish, so that you have a good idea as to how you can use these tools. One of the tools that I use for photo editing is the Move tool. It's very self-explanatory. And as you can see here, if you click on the Watch Quick Video Guide, I'll just click on it so you can see. It shows you what the tool is for. And basically, in a nutshell, it's used for moving images around. And that would be something that I think you'd use quite a lot when you're creating images, banners, or making edits. The second is the rectangle marquee tool. Again, you can watch a quick video on it, and basically you use it to select your image and crop. We'll use it in this example. Then you have the lasso tool. This is for selecting images. You can do the lasso tool, the polygonal lasso tool, the magnetic. Each one of them has its purpose, and what it does is it selects the image. You can select your image and then put it on a layer when you use the tool. This is a tool that I'm going to use. It's called object selection. It's very quick, and you can use it to select a part of an image. I'll just run through this quickly on the quick watch video so you can see what it's like. So that's just a quick view of what the tool is about, and it's a very good one for selecting the part of the image that you want to use for your banner. Then we have the crop tool, and basically that's just for cropping images or reducing the size of it. So in this case, look, see how it crops from left to right, and you can scale, and I'll click that again. So to remove the tool, but very useful tool. And then you have the frame tool as well. It's used for creating frames, and you can see when you have an image, it'll just frame it. And this is a real good tool for you to use as well. Then we have the eyedropper. And what this is used for is just for selecting colors on an image. Very useful tool. And then you have spot healing. And if you click on this tool, then it's got various options, spot healing tool, it's got remove tool. And basically what it does is if you have an image and it has spots on it, you can use a spot healing tool to rub them out. It says remove tool. You've got the patch tool. I would suggest playing around with these tools. Very, very good. And very helpful for your image editing for beginners. Then you have your paintbrush tool, you have your brush tool, your pencil tool, your color placement, and your mixer. And notice when I'm touching on these tools, can you see the top? For the brush tool, it's just telling you the size, and it's telling you the capacity, and how much the stroke is going to be in terms of, you can reduce that down to 100% or from 100 to 65, and that will determine the stroke of your brush. So for example, if I click on the brush here, and then I click on red, just for the example, you can see that's the capacity of the actual tool. And then you click on delete and it'll just remove. So yeah, just to show you what that looks like. So yeah, again, brush, you're going to use that, brush, pencil, color placement. This one's a clone stamp, which you'll use from time to time. I'll just click on the quick video so you can have a quick snap. So again, that's a tool that you use to clone your image or parts of the image, and you can rotate it around as you saw in that video guide. Then you also have the brush tool as well, which gives you a history brush. And if you put your mouse over it, you can see a guide will come through. It tells you, you click on learn more. And basically you can brush areas of your image by using this tool, and very useful. Then you have the eraser tool, and self-explanatory. It's used for erasing backgrounds. There's a magic eraser, and there's a background eraser, and basically it can erase text or parts of the image. Then you've got the paint tool, paint bucket tool. You can switch to gradient or 3D, and basically you'll see I'll use this in the tutorial as an example, but basically it's used for putting paint on the background of an image. Then you have the blur tool, which is used for blurring images or parts of an image, sharpen tool, smudge tool, which is for smudging images. And again, when you click on the tool, if you mouse over, you've got this learn more, and it just shows you what the tool is used for. It says learn how to selectively darken areas in your image with the burn tool. And basically, once you select it, you can either darken the area or lighten the area, depending on what you want to do. Then you have the pen tool. Again, if you mouse over, you can watch a quick video on how it works. But essentially, you've got a couple of options here. You've got pen, you've got freeform, and I would suggest just playing around with them very easily, very nice, depending on what you want to do. And then you've got the text tool, which is the T sign. You could use horizontal, vertical type mask, or horizontal type mask for any of your texts. And then you also have selection path. This is for selecting images or text, and you have direct selection path depending on what you want to use it for. Again, if you mouse over, you can click on Learn More, and it shows you how you use its selection tool, and you can choose either one of them depending on what you want to do. And then you have the shape tools, which just goes from rectangle to custom to line. You can use any of these tools in your images or banner creation. And then you have the hand tool or rotate tool. And if I put my mouse over it again, you can watch a video and it shows you more about what this tool is. Going down to the finals, you have the zoom tool. Click on zoom, you can zoom on the images, and then you can go fit on screen. It's pretty straightforward. I can show the text tool, which I'll demonstrate in my example later. And then you have the path selection tool that I went through, and then you have the hand tool, which I've gone through. This is the zoom tool. And then finally, you've got like the edit toolbar. And then right at the bottom, you can see where we've got the set foreground and you've got the set background. So if I click on foreground, I can choose and change that to white or whatever I want. And you'll just click on OK, and that changes this. And then by clicking on the background as well, I can do the same thing, change it to pink or whatever I want. And it just changes. So that's a brief rundown of the left-hand navigation. The top navigation is fairly straightforward. I'll go through File. You've got New, which you can use. New is just for opening up a new canvas. X, I'll just go through a few of them. Save is for saving the image. Export is for exporting images, either your PSD file as a GIF or a JPEG. And then generate, you can generate image assets. And then import is if you want to bring in some images. WAI support is where you connect to a scanner. And then print is self-explanatory. Automate is where you want to, if you've got like PDF presentations and you want to automate some of the images between Photoshop and your presentation, you can do that. So there's a couple of options here. Edit is pretty straightforward. You can use edit to just transform your images, scale your images, and we'll be using this during in my example. And then you've got layers. Layers is the area that you want to use for creating your image. Think of layers as a pack of cards. When you write some text, or if you have an image, that's how you put the jigsaw puzzle together. It's how you keep your image together. And everything that you do, whether it's writing, typing out an image or putting in an image, use your layers because it helps you to package the image and keep control of all the different things you're doing to your banner. Then you have the type, and here you've got like panels, you've got character panels, and then you've got selects, which shows you your layers. Filters, you've got various filters which will show up and they'll do various things. You've got 3D, you've got view for print size. Here's if you want to zoom in, zoom out, fit in the screen. And then you've got things like guides, lock guides, plugins. And then you've got windows, which just shows you the various tools. You've got channels, brushes, all the things you see on the far left you can see them quite quickly by selecting these or adding more tools that you need to use for your images or your banner. And then you've got the helps. So that's basically it for beginners. Just a quick run through. Explained a few areas, but please, by all means, go in and dig a bit deeper. And now I'm going to jump straight into the banner creation. I'll just close this. File no, and then start again. I'll do file a new, and then I guess it's my banner is going to be 800 by 100. That's 8-bit. Going to go to create, and that's my banner. And then it looks small, but then I'm going to go to view, and then I go to actual size so I can see it. And then I'm going to just do a very, 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 very simple example. I'm going to use the text tool. And this, I'm going to put some text. By default, it shows up as lorem ipsum. I'm going to change the text to white. I know white is FFFFF. I'm going to give you some, actually I'm going to use black, which is going to be 0000. Although the text doesn't look sharp, but once, and that's because it's in this view, but once I change the view, you'll see that the final image and text looks quite sharp. So yeah, I'll just type some text in, and the text I'm going to put in is going to be beginners tutorial. Okay, so I'm going to center that by dragging the text across, so that's in the middle. And then I'm going to click on this tick button, so that's done. If you want to underline this text, then you just go to characters, click on underline, so that underlines the text. Let me change the text to blue. That might be better than that. Yeah, just put that in there. So I've got my first line of text. I've got my tick. What else do I want to do? I think I want to add an image to this banner. So I will go to File and Open. Got some images. I've got an image of myself. I'm going to click on Open. And that's me with a hat on. I've got the words Manchester on my hat. Do I want that on my banner? Probably not. And what am I going to do to remove it? A very simple way of removing the text. You can just fill it if you want. And you just click on the rectangle marquee tool. Select that area. And then you right-hand click on your mouse, go to fill. This is a quick way of doing it. It's got black. Go OK. See, that's filled with the text. So that's over. So there's no branding that's going to be on my banner. The next thing that I'm going to do is, how do I take this image or the parts of me and put it onto my banner? So the way to do that is you go to the object selection tool, which is what I went through earlier. It allows you to select parts of an image, and then you can, delete it or put it onto another image or banner. So if you click on that, as you can see, if you look at the mode, it's on rectangle. If you go down, you can do lasso as well, which also allows you to select parts of it, but I'm just going to use the rectangle. And then I'm just going to select that. It's working on it, it's working on it, it's working on it. Yes, it works, it's selected. myself and parts of me, and I'm now going to go to edit, and I'm going to go to copy. I will now go back to my banner, which is this one, and I want to add myself to this banner. And to do that, I'm just going to remember to do the layers, just to file, layer, and that's layer 2. Just go OK. So remember, when you're using layers, it's so that you can control all the different components of the image or the banner that you're trying to create. And then I'm going to go Control V, which is pretty much just pasting the image into the banner. Then I'm going to use the Move tool. As you can see, I'm in there. I've got the blacked out text I didn't want. And this is me on the image. And you're thinking, well, how can I reduce the size of this image? How can I position it? Because it looks so big. This is one of the tricks that you can use in Photoshop as a beginner, to adjust this. You go to File. You now need to go to, go to Edit, and then you go to Transform, and then you go to Scale. And Scale is going to allow me to scale this image. We go up. You can see I'm going to scale the image so I can get it into a good position. Just like that. There's other ways of doing it, but this is my way of doing this. And I'm just going to scale again. Scale. Slowly coming together. Scale. And then scale some more. Aha. Finally getting there. Very good tool, the scale. Okay, and now I've got myself onto the banner. So that's me. So that's me in the layer. I'm just going to click on tick, and I fitted myself nicely onto this layer. And I'm going to say to myself, well, what else do I want to do? This looks nice enough. I've got an image. I've got beginner's tutorial. What else would I like to have? Maybe some different text, maybe some smaller text this time around. And I will just go to do another layer so you can control the different components. Do layer. I'm going to click on the text. This time, I think I want text to be red. I'm going to go OK. And then I want the text to be something like, 16. I'm going to click here. It goes with the default Lorem Ipsum, but you can change the text. And I'm going to put some text called register. Register now. So I'll just center that. So it's here. And it's underlined. If you don't want the text to be underlined, if you go to characters, which can be found under Windows and character, and it should appear here, and you can see the T, which is underlined, just click on that. You can remove the underline. If you want the text to be spaced, where it says VA, let's try and space it out a bit more. See, did you notice and see how the text is spaced out a bit more? And then if you go again to maybe 75, no, that's 50 is the maximum for this, but it's spaced out, or you can reduce it if you want. But that's what you do to space out your text. And then I'm thinking, well, okay, I wanted to do a nice and simple banner, but maybe I want to move this image so it can be a bit closer to the beginner's tutorial and register now. And what I will do is I will go to the image. So you can select your image, and then you can go to the move tool, which is this one here. You can move it. See how I moved it? Moved it very quickly, very easily. So yeah, I'll position it just about there. And then what else do I want to do? This banner is a beginner's tutorial. It says register now, but what is this banner about? It's about Photoshop. It's about Photoshop tutorial. So maybe I need a Photoshop logo. Where am I going to put it? Okay, let's file, open, and lo and behold, here is a Adobe Photoshop logo. And you can see it looks quite big. So in order to get this into my banner, I want to reduce the size of this logo. To do that, you go to image, you go to image size. It says 640. I probably want something like 200 by 195. I think that looks about right. Click on OK. Then I'm going to go to my keyboard and go on Control and A, which will select the image. Then I go to Edit and then Copy. Then I go back to my main banner and I'll just do a new layer, File, Layer. Remember, everything you do, put into layers. Do Edit and then Paste. And you can see it's still a little bit big. And to reduce the size of that, what you want to do is go to File and Transform, go Scale, and then scroll down, and we'll be able to reduce the size quite easily. And then we can move the image or place the image wherever we want it to go to. So I think we can place it here. We can make it a bit smaller. Yes, out here. That will do. Looks a bit distorted, but it will look very well once I've reduced the size of the actual canvas. So there you have it. You've got an image of myself. You've got some beginners tutorial text. You've got some registered now. And then if you look to click on the image again, you will see that you'll see that the image is nicely put together, but it still looks a bit long to me. And I'm saying to myself, how can I reduce the size of this image? And I want to reduce it. I will go to my rectangle marquee tool, click on that, select the image. And then I'm going to go on to edit, go to image, and then crop. And then that's just crop the image. So this is the final banner. This is what it looks like. If you want to go to Windows and then go down to layers, you can see what the layers look like on the top right. So these are all the various different components of this banner, which we have just created. And then finally, to see the final view, you go to View, and then go to Actual Size, and then go to View again, and then go to Print Size. So you can see it's reduced. This is what it looks like in terms of in print. You can see my my face. It looks quite sharp, much sharper than in the view that I was showing you previously. And that's pretty much how you create a simple banner in Photoshop. I would strongly suggest that you save your file as a PSD. You go to File, Save As, and then you go to On Your Computer, and then save your file. You can save as copy as a JPEG as well. And that's pretty much it. Just to recap, today we've gone through some of the various tools that are available in Adobe Photoshop. We've also emphasized the fact that when you mouse over these tools, you'll give you an explanation either via video or via short explanation text, help text, to make you understand what these tools are and what they're used for. I've used the creation of a simple banner to use some of these tools so I can explain how they're used in the real world scenario, right, in terms of creating a web banner. I hope that session was useful to you. Please give me some comments. I'll try and do another session just for beginners, bringing in all my knowledge that I've used over the years in terms of creating images, creating text and banners, and showing you real life examples, but really for basic beginners. Hope this is useful. Give me some comments. Let me know what you think. Thank you.